Coming up next.
Yeah, I think because it's much as people count it as a breakthrough, it's still an emerging technology. What that means, it's not yet perfect. We still have some way to go. We need more better versions, and that is a challenge on its own. It's not like established technologies which are signed and stamped.
Hi there and welcome to this podcast. I am Andrew Locker.
And I'm Diana Ayo. Thanks for tuning in. On the Afro Tech Talk podcast, we speak to tech experts, individuals in the tech space, as well as young people about the latest trends and innovations in Africa to explore how tech is transforming their society. We filter our guests' profound insights into actionable guidance, empowering listeners to find inspiration and actively participate in the ongoing tech revolution.
If you are new to the show or would want to recommend our podcast to your friends and family, our starter packs are a great place for you to get hooked. We understand that it can be a bit hard to get started, so for this, we have our episodes segmented into different topics that will have you started right away. Visit afrotechtalk.africa.
We understand that there is just so much uncertainties going around the field of artificial intelligence. And today we are joined by Andrew Tugume, who is going to walk us through the risks, challenges, and opportunities that lie in the field of artificial intelligence.
Okay, welcome to this podcast, Tugume and Andrew. We're happy to have you, and I'm sure our listeners out there are so excited to listen into this episode as we take them through another series of AI. Andrew Tugume, you're very welcome. We have Andrew as our host today. And Andrew, could you just kindly introduce yourself out there to our listeners and walk us through your experience in the field of AI?
Yeah, thank you so much, Diana. When you said Andrew and Tugume, it's very awkward for me because those are my two names. So maybe I'll be Andrew A, he's Andrew B. Yeah, I am very much interested in AI. I lead a community of AI experts in Kampala. It's called Data Science Network Kampala. It's been running for about 2 years. We are coming to 3 years. So we started before AI was all over the place. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the capacity in which I come to this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tugume, for that. Since we're discussing this, what are some of the most pressing risks and challenges that are associated with AI today? Because I'm sure people out there have heard about AI here and there. So would like to know, just before we get into the actual gist of this, what are some of the pressing risks or challenges that are associated with AI today?
Yeah, I think because it's much as people count it as a breakthrough, it's still an emerging technology. What that means, it's not yet perfect. We still have some way to go. We need more better versions, and that is a challenge on its own. It's not like established technologies which are signed and stamped. So that's why there's a lot of talk around it. It's an emerging technology. It has gotten its breakthrough compared to other emerging technologies, but it's still growing. So we have the good part, but it can be better and can even be perfect. So the common challenge with emerging technologies is error, bias, privacy, because there's a lot of glitches here and there. So it's you are bound to face a lot of error. So many people who use like AI as of now, they face a lot of errors. They can come in form of there's something called hallucination. Most of the AIs are hallucinating because they haven't fully learned what they are supposed to learn. So they miss it. They miss the mark. I think from a development perspective, error is the commonest challenge. These other things are there, but they are not really, really big. People are still fearing jobs, regulation. But as far as the technology is concerned, its perfection is the problem. It's not yet perfect. So error is the biggest challenge at the moment from the technology perspective. Over to you, Diana.
Thank you very much, Tugume. Andrew, anything you would like to just put out there?
Okay, thank you so much, Diana. So, Andrew Tugume, it's strange we still have the same name. So, a lot of people keep saying that AI is something that is still just growing out there. And do you really feel AI really understands the world? And should we just ignore some of these threats that have been associated with AI?
So I think that's also a major debate. So I don't want to go into the technicalities of intelligence, but it has some level of wisdom because it's a technology which is designed to know things, to understand things, to connect dots. So there is some level of wisdom that it carries, but that's not to the level of like a conscious being. It doesn't feel fear or love or any of the feelings. So that means it's not self-aware. It's in the hands of the person controlling it. So we shouldn't really fear very much as of now. Of course, when it evolves and learns and keeps on studying and connecting dots, challenges might come. But as of now, it's just an entity which is neutral. The reason why people fear is because us as humans, we see life in terms of negative, positive, good, bad, evil. But computers don't see like that. For them, they're about accuracy, speed, memory, connecting dots, understanding the information, predicting, making decisions, which is what most people are fearing. But of course, I'm sure in the next few years, we might have challenges because when you keep on learning, any person, even if it's a child, and you start making decisions on your own, problems can come. But as of now, the biggest challenge is the person who has this technology. If I have this technology, I can use it with whatever I want. So if I'm a liberal person and I feed my AI with liberal content, if anyone is to use it, they're going to receive liberal things. So it's a chaos technology, but it depends on who is using it and who is controlling it and what data it is being fed with. So we need to fear the humans behind it more than the technology itself as of now. We can have this discussion 1 year from now, after we've had maybe signs of a sentient or conscious AI, which no one has found out, to see if there's a risk. But as of now, the people themselves who are creating these technologies are the ones we need to care about. They can misuse it and put all of us in trouble. Yeah, over to you.
Okay. So one of the greatest threats that have been associated with this technology, we cannot go without leaving out, the job displacements, and a lot of algorithmic, biasness has also been, noticed around AI. So how can we make sure that we mitigate such kind of risks? And by this I mean, job placements and then the bias that is associated with AI.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a very big challenge. It's a fact. AI has way better potential as far as doing tasks is concerned. So any skill set or work or job that can be automated, AI can do it 1,000 times better. So anything to do with skills, to do with all these capabilities that people develop in school and wherever, AI can do it better. That one is a fact. But I think there are some things which are called human-only traits. Human-only traits are things to do with what separates humans from computers, and those are things like purpose, creativity. There are many. It's a whole list. So those are the things we need to concentrate on, and I think they make work more beautiful. Imagine like people at maybe Jumia. I don't know if you have Jumia there in Arua. If all the hard work is being done by robots and AI, and then people are dealing with the things which only humans can do, so they will find more purpose. They will enjoy their work more. People will not break their backs. But then also there's another space which is complementing, because the technology is not conscious, so which means it's a tool. So it means certain skills are going to come up whereby you complement the AI or the AI complements you. So if you're a doctor, you know 50% of medicine is done by AI, but there are those things of like smiling at the patient, talking to the patient, comforting them, giving them a hug. So you find medicine has like the human-only trait, and it has the technology part of it. Same thing with business. You automate like 90% of the things in your company, and you hire people to do things which are human only. So it's about adopting, mutating, and evolving. And me, I see it as a good thing, because people will start doing things which they like, not doing things just because they want to make money. So it might be bad in a way, there's no doubt. Statistics show that AI is going to take away almost 80% of the jobs. But at the same time, it's going to create more than 100% of new jobs. That is in the category of complementing, like jobs to do with complementing AI or AI complementing you. I think last week or this week, OpenAI has opened up an app store. I don't know, I've forgotten the name, but it's like an app store for GPTs. So you can create a GPT which does this, and those are jobs. So it means developers out there by the millions are going to start building GPTs. It doesn't matter who you are. I've even seen people are building GPTs even if they don't know how to code. So those are like 1 million jobs created by just the OpenAI store. So it's true, jobs are going, but from a philosophical standpoint, people will start doing things which are more purposeful and more human, and at the same time, more jobs will be created from that realm also. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tugume. You mentioned something that triggered another question from my end. You talked about OpenAI, and we currently have one of the tools, that's ChatGPT, that almost everybody is using now. And there's the notion, people saying, ChatGPT has replaced human reasoning and human thinking. Yeah, we no longer, longer get our brains working. Someone just puts in whatever they want to find out, copy paste, and they have all that information.
Yeah.
So my question in that regard, would say come in. How do we ensure that we use these AI tools responsibly, without compromising human thinking or human reasoning, and
Yeah.
also without having any negative impact on existing societal inequalities.
So I think there are many ways of looking at this. There is a gentleman. He's called Judd Leonhard. I follow him a lot. So he has a good video on I think it's digital transformation. So you remember the human only traits I was talking about. So if people are becoming victims of getting knowledge on the go, just asking questions, what is this, what is that? I think it has always been there ever since people discovered calculators. People, instead of counting with their heads, they have been using calculators. Ever since Google came, instead of going to the library, you just search. Ever since AI came, instead of planning and thinking, you just type in GPT, it thinks and plans for you. Yeah, so the question maybe will be, ever since calculators were created, did humanity advance? Ever since Google came, did humanity advance? With GPT, are people having better bridal showers and passing their exams and what? So those are the positives. The fact is, people are planning better. They are getting results better. So that is for the side of the consumers. It will have a positive and a negative. So the danger with technology, I'm a fan of technology, but it has very many problems. So from a philosophical standpoint, people have discovered that every technology, whenever it blesses one generation, it kills another. And that is something we need to think about. So we might do our mathematics very fast, but then you find when it comes to coming up with a new mathematical formula, our generation hasn't produced anything. There's no Nobel Prize for like top guys in that area. Ever since Google came, people who create new knowledge are very few. There are just a few professors, a few gurus, a few whatevers. So there's also a danger of people are going to advance. They are going to plan their things. They are going to grow. They are going to expand. They are going to make money. But our children will not know what it means to sit in a room and plan for a wedding because the AI is doing everything. So you find this generation has benefited, but the next one has lost. And that is the same way how you ask yourself, if people are so advanced, how come they can't do the things which people in the 80s were doing? How come in 2023 going to the moon is hard, yet people went there in 1963? How come people built pyramids, yet now we can't build one? So it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. So it's more of psychological. It's not a technological solution that we have to look into, because technology is bound to bless one generation and kill another. So one of the things that people are doing, they are looking for ways of having both. I don't know if you've watched videos, but there's a video of like Elon Musk saying he no longer sends his children to school. All of his children study from home because he wants them to catch some of the things that have been lost through that life. So like for me, on a personal level, the way I'm juggling with this, I am an advocate of thinking, coming up with new knowledge, researching, using these tools to advance myself other than bringing myself down. So they call this consumerism versus producing. So if we keep on consuming knowledge from ChatGPT, the question is, where is it coming from? If you keep on Googling, the question is, the things which you are Googling, where are they coming from? So if you get smart, you also look beyond the technology. There is life beyond technology. And it's not common, it's not on the streets, it's not on the internet, it's not everywhere, but there are people who have learned how to live beyond technology. An example is like the guys who made Google. They themselves, they are not on any social media platform. Larry Page and Sergey Brin are not on any social media platform. Number two, they spend most of their time in the lab, creating and researching and looking for new information. So it's like more of a philosophical thing. We have to help our people to show them that there is life outside technology. You don't spend an entire day on ChatGPT, on X, on Facebook, on what. You will benefit, you'll be informed, you will shine amongst people, you'll build your business. But in 5 years, you'll find, my inner engineering is going down. I'm becoming weaker and weaker intellectually. You find you can't make even the simplest decisions. So there is an arm of research that people are developing, especially with education, on how to enjoy the benefits of technology, but then also live above it. I don't know. I don't want to speak a lot, but it's like when science was growing, people started developing branches that are beyond science, metaphysics, psychology, so that people don't become victims of science. You know, you can get so much in science and you think it's everything, and then you start losing your humanity. Most of the scientists' research shows that they couldn't hold a family. Most of them were not married. Most of them couldn't raise their children. Most of them, they became fanatic. They lost it. So there's a whole group of people who are trying to bring life beyond technology. It's not common. I wish we would have like podcasts on such things. But if you study, you will know. So a good example is like the Google guys. They have created Google for us, but for them, they live above technology. They don't use social media. They don't overuse they use them when they are very necessary. So that's more of a human thing. So Judd Leonhard, the guy I was talking about that I follow, he proposed that the more technology increases, the more people should start branching out into other areas of knowledge. Like I think you are seeing people going into philosophy, yoga, thinking, meditation, switching off your phone for 5 hours, then you go for a walk. So those things should also increase. The more technology increases, the more those things increase. Sorry, I've spoken so much about this. It's just because I couldn't get the easiest words to communicate it. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Tugume. That's absolutely fine. At least you're able to get as much information, With this, we have to dissect and make sure we have all the information out here on table. And in regard to all this, and in your own view, do you think we should have some human ethics around AI?
Yeah, very much, because the humans that are using the technology are the most, they are the people we need to get worried about. So definitely, and ethics is part of the things I was talking about, by the way. So people should know what ethics is, what morality is, what humanity is. So those are the human-only traits I was talking about. They are the ones which can make technology a better companion other than a distraction. So if we are moving by regulations and rules, we'll play the game very well, and everyone will enjoy. So being ethical is one of the key things with technology. like the more technology grows, the more ethical we should become. It's like when people are making nuclear weapons. That is when we need people to become more human. If you have 100 nuclear warheads and people are not ethical, they are not moral, they are losing it, they are depressed, we'll be in trouble. Someone can click a button and we are out. So in the thing I was trying to talk about earlier, people who, when you don't want people to become victims of technology, you enforce ethics, morality, humanity, creativity, thinking, things like those. So ethics is a big part of technology. As a matter of fact, there is for every, I don't know if any of you did like computer science. I know in Uganda people just do that course unit for to finish school, but in every technology course, there is always a course unit to do with ethics for IT, because they know, that the more you get this superpower in your hands, the more ethical you should be. So they go hand in hand. If technology increases, men ought to be more ethical. Yeah.
So we've been speaking a lot around, threats and these risks associated with artificial intelligence. At this point, we really love to hear from you if there are any, if at all, any opportunities that are really associated with AI, and you could share that with our listeners as well.
Yeah, the opportunities are very many. Regardless, even if you are coming from a perspective of your natural abilities, let's say talents, gifts, skills, the opportunities are endless. People, if you are into art, there's now so many AIs that can make your craft better. If you are in music, if you are in anything, if you are in technology, coding, now people who code, life is easier. There's all these things. So I don't want to look at just opportunities from what is being created only. Like we talked about that store of GPTs that OpenAI has created, which is a big opportunity. But there's also opportunities of expanding and spreading your craft, of productivity, of all these things. So regardless, for people who are in business, if business is king, technology is the queen. So people in business are enjoying AI very much, from simple email suggestions to creating business models and strategies, and what people are expanding their businesses with AI. Investors are finding it very easy. You put in money, but the margins are huge because most of the work is being done by automation. So it's creating opportunity for everyone. I don't know. Some governments are also trying to find opportunities with AI. So I think the problem I've seen with opportunities, especially with us Africans, we go with what is booming. So if shoes are booming, you switch to shoes. If bags are booming, you go to bags. So I'm always fearing to talk about opportunities. I think opportunity is in your domain, your area of operation. How can you leverage AI to advance, grow, become better in your specific field? Not something like blockchain is having a lot of AI opportunities. This one, people are going to the moon. So I think opportunities in AI should be, how do you maximize? If you are doing a podcast, how can you leverage AI to distribute your podcasts, or to prepare, or to wherever, so in technology, it's very dangerous for you to leave one field and go to another in the name of opportunity. You will suffer because The learning curve is steep. The information is a lot. So I think the real opportunity for AI is leveraging it to make your specific field better, or even creating new roles which didn't exist. You find maybe you have an AI researcher for the podcast. This is someone who, I don't know, I'm just using an example. So those are some of the opportunities. Yeah, over to you.
Okay, so what we've noticed over time is we've noticed that this AI field has very
gives an
little regulation
example
and
of
governance around it, and a lot of
perpetuate soccer of the
giant
VAR
tech leaders and
system.
countries,
So the
leaders of
VAR
countries are
system
beginning to
has
question, the
some people are
regulations
less lit,
around
others are
AI.
for it.
So, how
The
can we
way they
strike a balance,
incorporated it
our
is to
right,
make
a
sure
right balance
it
between
doesn't
fostering
affect the
innovation
real soccer
and
that people are
implementing these
playing. So
regulations to manage
if
the
there is
risks
something
that
which
are
requires
associated
the
with AI?
referee to check in the system and see if it was a foul or a goal, he will go off for a few seconds. He makes his decision. He comes back on the pitch. So it's the man working with the technology. But people will keep on enjoying their football match. So in the space of innovation, which is which is the area in which I've been for some good years. The question is innovation more important than regulation, or is regulation more important than innovation? So it depends. And people innovate from a place of freedom, innovation, creativity. If you don't have freedom, you can't express yourself. For example, the reason why many people don't like start companies, they will know URSB will charge me this, URA will come for me, I don't have UNBS. So they're going to fear all these things surrounding their craft, and they will not express themselves. But like the way we've seen people in soccer do it, they have been able to integrate the virtual assistant referee without affecting the football match very much, like extremely. So there's no doubt that regulation is needed. Otherwise, people are going to start making nuclear bombs here and sending them everywhere. It's about striking a balance. I think when they are making regulations, it's better you have the real people who are innovating to also be in the room. It's like amateur MPs going and creating laws for technology when they don't know anything. They create laws for business. None of them is running a business. That's where the problem is. So regulations, so long as they don't remove the freedom of the innovator, of the creative, they are good. I think regulations should majorly be in two areas, development and usage. And I think for the developers, they are the ones who need more freedom when it comes to regulations. People who use the AIs don't need a lot of freedom. Can begin by being more strict on the users. You create maybe regulations for the users, and you first open it up for the innovators, because if you regulate creation of AI, even when you don't know what it is going to turn out to be, you will mess up the creative aspect of technology. So in summary, I think most of the enforcement and regulation should be on usage, which people are already doing. But I've also seen people who are not technologists, but you develop in a transparent manner. Yeah, so now that is good because it's not stopping the innovator, and at the same time, the innovator is accountable and transparent. So it's an art, making sure you're not very strict on the innovators and you piss them off. For the users, it doesn't matter. You can begin with an iron hand, then you keep on reducing. But innovators don't need very strict regulations, though they are needed. The best regulation can be open source, be accountable and transparent in whatever you do. And then also avoiding centralization is a good way to regulate anything, whereby everyone can control this thing so that it's not in the hands of one person.
Okay, thank you very much, Tugume.
That has been our conversation with Andrew Tugume, the risks, challenges, and opportunities of AI. To read more on this, we recommend reading AI and Human Agency, Balancing Challenges and Opportunities by Akil Ahmed, and Race of Artificial Intelligence by Vincent C. Muller.
Just in case you have not yet subscribed to this podcast, please do subscribe, like, share, and follow on the different platforms.
This podcast is hosted and directed by Andrew and Diana, edited and produced by Mark Studios for Afro Tech Talk.